Hey everyone, and happy Saturday. It's Nikki Lake, and today's discussion is going to be about how the natural hair community failed itself. So, as we all know, the natural hair community made its big debut back in the late 2000s to early 2010s. And that was a very pivotal moment for natural hair and Black women in general. It was this big moment in history where Black women were doing big chops and revealing their true hair texture and learning how to take care of it and loving themselves. For me personally, I did my big chop back in 2011, so I was still pretty early in the game. That's when natural hair was, still pretty new. And when you did the big chop back then, people would look at you sideways and be like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" Because it was somewhat taboo at the time. But at the time, I thought I had 4C hair, but come to find out, I actually have 3C, 4A hair. And that's through the process of detoxifying my hair from oils and butters. And that's a whole nother video for another day. So after, stripping my hair of all the oils and butters and greases that I was using, my true hair texture is actually 3C, 4A. But at the time, yes, I did think that I was 4C. But regardless, I still loved my hair for what it was because it was the hair that grew out of my scalp. I was no longer bound to having to get relaxers, to having to think that something was wrong with my hair, right? So, at the time I was watching these different 4C hair girlies, type 4B, 4A, just, type 4 in general. And it was going really well. I was learning about these different products to use and how to do flexi rod styles and different things like that. So it was really fun, getting to know my hair texture and, seeing my hair for what it truly was. But it wasn't until recently that you started seeing more type 4 girlies wanting to relax their hair. So now you're seeing more videos of girls saying, "Oh, I can't manage my hair anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm getting a texturizer. Oh, I'm just going to relax it entirely." So that's the consensus that you see now is that, oh, type 4 hair is so unmanageable. Natural hair isn't for me. It's too time consuming. So I'm going back to relaxers, which defeats the purpose of going natural in the first place, right? So the other general consensus is that the type 3 hair girlies have infiltrated the natural hair community and made it all about them. When in reality, I feel that it's because type 4 girlies were thinking that when they did their big chop initially, that they would have a looser hair texture, that they would have curlier hair and not as coily or as kinky. So it kind of made them disappointed in their hair texture because, oh, I thought after this big chop I would have this type of hair texture and not what I have right now in my head. I thought it would look so much better, or whatever the unrealistic expectation was for them at the time. So I feel like because, yes, now you do see more type 3 girlies and these hair ads and they're getting more views and things like that. But why do you think that is? So why are you as a type 4 girly watching the type 3 hair videos? Why aren't you watching more videos like how I was doing, thinking that I was 4C? Why aren't you watching more videos of women with the same hair texture as you so that you could actually learn from them? That would be more realistic, right? Watching someone with the same hair texture as you and seeing what products may work for you. And you also have the hair density and porosity to worry about as well. But for the most part, you could watch, women with the same hair texture as you and learn from them. Why would you watch someone with type even 2 hair? Why would you watch someone with the looser hair texture and thinking that your hair would end up like theirs? So it's one thing to watch someone with type 3 hair or 2C or whatever. It's one thing to watch them and admire their hair and admire what their hair can do, but you shouldn't internalize it and tell yourself, "Oh, my hair's never going to be able to do that. My hair's not like theirs. Oh, I hate my hair. I'm going to go get a relaxer so that I could end up doing my hair like theirs." It's still not going to be a realistic expectation because your hair texture is still not the same as a type 3 or looser hair texture. So it still wouldn't be realistic, you know? So, yes, you do have more women with type 3 hair getting more representation, but again, why aren't you watching women who have the same hair texture as you? Because even when I scroll through the YouTube feed, I do notice that type 3 girlies have a higher average viewership than those who have type 4 hair. But again, it goes to show that maybe the type 4 women are watching the type 3 hair girlies to experience like some type of hair jealousy or to wish that they had that type of hair. Because again, like I said, it's one thing to watch their videos and admire their hair texture, and it's another thing to wish that you had their hair texture. So you're kind of watching vicariously, like I said, like, oh, I wish my hair could do that. Let me go get this relaxer now. You know what I mean? It's just really crazy. And I'm on Reddit, right? So I had posted a hair selfie to see what other people thought my hair type was. So I was like, hey guys, do you know what my hair type is? And it was crickets. No one had commented anything. No one had liked or even disliked my post. It was totally crickets, nothing. And I didn't realize that it was because this thread on Reddit no longer allowed hair typing posts. And the reasoning was that it causes pandering. It's pandering, and it brings negativity into the natural hair space, which I don't understand. How is hair typing a negative aspect in the hair typing space unless you were insecure or upset or unhappy about your hair texture? That's the only thing that I can imagine, is that a hair typing chart would only bother those who are not happy with their own hair texture. Because if I was happy with my hair texture, if I was secure in myself, I wouldn't mind if someone with type 2 or 3 hair asked, hey guys, what do you think my hair texture is? And I would respond with whatever hair texture I think it was. I wouldn't feel any kind of way about them asking, because obviously they're asking to see what other people think it is. They need some assistance with typing their hair correctly. I wouldn't think, oh, they're just trying to show off their curls. They're just trying to show off their, so-called good hair. I wouldn't even think that. And then I saw the video of the woman with the wig on stating that she's not comfortable or confident in herself unless she has hair textures other than hers on her head. Like literally, that's what she said in the video. Oh, black women can't grow their hair. I have to wear this wig with other textures, with other races of hair textures on my head, because that's the only way I'll feel beautiful. Are you crazy? Or are you just insecure? Like, which one is it? Or is it both? So to say that the type 3 women have hijacked the natural hair community is false, because you're even stating that you wish you had another texture of hair growing out of your head. That's what you're insinuating. You don't look pretty unless you have other textures of hair on your head. So that's basically projecting, is it not? So that's what I'm saying. The unrealistic expectations for the hair that grows out of your own scalp is what caused the demise of the natural hair community. Not the type 3 girlies. Don't blame it on them. Don't blame it on them. It's because of you and your unrealistic expectations. It was what you thought that your hair could do. It was what you thought that your hair would look like. That's what caused the demise of the natural hair community. That's why type 4s are running back to relaxers. That's why they're putting these lace front wigs on that looks nothing like their hair textures. Okay, Malaysian, Yaki, whatever. Brazilian, these different hair bundles. That's why you do that, is because you're not happy with yourself. You're not happy with your hair texture. That's why you don't like the hair typing chart, okay? We cannot lie and sit here and say that the hair typing chart doesn't matter. That's why you have different skin types, right? You have combination skin, you have oily skin, you have eczema prone skin. And certain products are not going to work for certain skin types because that product is not formulated for that skin type. You can't say, oh, all skin products work for all skin types. No. You have to understand your skin's characteristics and choose the right products for it. Same for your hair. Hair typing is important. Okay, it's not some type of hierarchy that's placed to make one person feel better than the other, or to make one person feel insecure about their hair. That starts with yourself. So the only way the natural hair community can ever flourish is if people start to do some self-reflection. Okay, yes, that's great that the lady was honest about why she was wearing different textures of hair on her head. Okay, great. She's being honest. But what steps does she need to take, along with other women who think like her? What steps do they need to take in order to combat those feelings? You have to love and embrace yourself. And watching women with type 3 hair is only going to exacerbate your insecurities. So you should start watching more women with your same hair texture. That's just what it is at the end of the day. Take a break from the Malaysian, from the Brazilian, from the Indonesian, and start learning to love your own hair. I mean, it's easier said than done. I understand that. There's a whole psychological, concept that goes into this. But you should start with that. Start with embracing your hair texture and those around you that have your same hair texture. And then you can admire those around you who have different hair textures because you're secure with yourself and what you have growing out of your scalp. That's just what it is at the end of the day. So again, don't sit here and blame type 3 girlies or loose curl girlies for why the natural hair community has failed. Because you've also given them the attention. You've placed them on a pedestal, right? So for me personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I have type 3 and 4 hair, right? I'm in the middle. But I can appreciate all hair types. I can appreciate the hair typing chart. So a lot of work does need to be done on a personal level. That's all I can really say about that. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't really go deeper into the whole mindset of it. But I do think that people need to really self-reflect before they can try to make this huge assumption that type 3s have ruined the natural hair community. Just look within yourself, okay? Look within yourself. That's all I can tell you. That's the only advice that I could give. But it's definitely not the type 3's fault. Like, I have to reiterate that. It's not the type 3's that have infiltrated this and made it something that it's not, okay? Because again, you're the one that put the type 3's on the pedestal because of your own insecurities. I have to keep saying it. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the end of this little rant, this little video. So I hope to catch you guys in the next one.